Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, so I was going to play some of this video, but I, sorry, I am so blown away with the things that I've been hearing. Like y'all heard me talk about, the Benny guy, I think that's his name. And now I'm hearing, I just happened to click on because I have been really not paying attention to, as I expressed before, the case. I think the way other people were kind of um I guess paying attention to it just because I feel like I'm so far removed, like in terms of like everyday life, right? However, I do gotta touch on things that impact me, right? And the reason why it's important to speak on it is because the climate in America is changing, and it's really not black people the way that I think that folks are trying to paint it. Um the climate in America right now really does suggest that black people were low key kind of right all along to really cry racism, right? And I say this because the racism that's coming out now, that's not necessary. Like, you know how many people lose a family member and their thought is not racism. It doesn't lead to racial uh biases and all this extra stuff we're starting to see come out right now. Um this is different level type stuff. This is like the KKK, like somebody just, harmed somebody's son. Like, it's really given like folks is really like we're really regressing, but I guess we never really truly move forward. So when you really look at it, black people have been right this whole time. So and I understand, this black fatigue conversation, but I actually think people are way overdoing it. And the ignorance of and the lack of understanding of who black people are is wild to me. Okay. Now, I say that to say I've been hearing a lot of things, and I came across a video that led me to a video that led me to a video that led me to Austin Metcalf's video. And a part of me said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. But I'll let you know now it's very hard for me to watch because I got so much to say. It's like everything he says, I'm like, are you kidding me? And then it just I have to watch it first, really in its entirety, before I feel like I can show it because I guess for me, I'm really upset. And I'll say this as a black person, I'm not upset where y'all gonna get my energy type stuff. But it does bother me that we're living in a country right now where the things that this man is saying openly, these were things that were said behind closed doors. And now you got folks, but then again, they live in Texas, right? So I gotta also remember the location, but that don't make it any right. That don't make it any better. Now you're starting to see racism kind of being accepted again. And it's being justified on the grounds that black people are things that not, I mean, no offense. I mean, I know a lot of black people. And I don't know a whole lot of I don't know a lot of people that, how can I say this? I don't know a lot of people that do what Carmelo Anthony did, what he's accused of, right? I don't know many black people like that. I know that's what people think. Me personally, I don't know a whole lot like that. I actually don't know a whole lot. The ones that I do know that are struggling, I mean, okay, petty crime, maybe, if they're even getting in trouble. I don't know many of them to even be in trouble. So it's wild to me, and I mean that with sincerity. So that I guess, like I said, I don't know. I know blacks that are maybe not doing okay, but for the most part, I think this stage of my life, most of the black people I know they're thriving. They're doing just fine. So I'm confused, I guess, when it comes to some of the things that are being stated about black people. This diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff. Okay, so let's be clear. I worked for a boss, and it's another thing. The dude had a bald head, and I'm not saying that that means anything, but the more and more I think about it, and the more and more I'm learning how Trump, like how this administration, not the administration necessarily, because it's not impacting me the way I guess it may impact other people in some areas, right? However, that was the DEI thing. I think I really lost my job due to the politics that were going on at the time. Not because I couldn't do my job, but because it became acceptable to now start laying off black women on the basis of this rumor that DEI somehow applies to us. So, what I have a hard time understanding is how is it that black people are, or black women are of the most educated class in America, but somehow folks really believe that we're not qualified to do our jobs? And it baffles me that that rumor was allowed to go on about black people, right? Or black women specifically, when realistically, the majority of people who were impacted, the larger number of people who were impacted were people who did not look like me. That's wild. So then we have situations, right? So now it became, because you've got the majority saying, "Hey, we want to vote for an administration based upon a euphoric moment that happened in 2020." Right. With this administration, well, it ain't the same administration necessarily, but with this president, right? And folks were thinking, okay, if we vote him back in, he gonna put some money in our pockets. People were thinking about the wrong things. Okay. The wrong things. The wrong things. And I'm not saying Trump is bad. I never met the man. I don't know, right? I really don't know what's running through his mind. It would be nice to know, you know, on outside of politics, right? Because politics is politics. I would love to be able to talk to him, have a couple beers, and let this man just talk and just listen. For real. Because it's just interesting to me, even though certain aspects of this administration are the same. In my opinion, this is not necessarily the same administration. Like when they used to talk about how dude had two sides to him, it's almost like it's two different administrations. And I don't know what was happening. And look, I was going through too much in 2018, 19 to know specifically what dude was doing at all times, right? But I know when 2020 hit, it's like my life just changed. It just changed. Oh, like just like that. By the grace of God, like it changed. So I believed in the first administration. I've always said about the second one, I do not support the people that this president has really put in power to be supportive to him. I never have. Um, I'm not gonna pretend all of a sudden that I support them because I support the president. That's crazy. I personally could not give this administration my vote. And I keep saying that because every situation I see take place, it reminds me that I was right. I will never stand with people who are openly racist. I'm sorry. You better keep, like, to me, your black people at this time have no business talking about we don't see color. We have no business, really, to be honest. We need to be on code. I'm not really quite understanding how black people are just really not paying it. Like, it's like we are, and not protesting, right? This isn't a time to be protesting. That's not what I mean. I don't believe in all that. I mean being alert and aware to what is happening right now. This man lost his son, right? As a mother, I don't care what the reason would be for, I couldn't imagine losing my daughter. You see what I'm saying? I genuinely feel for this man and his family. However, and I say however, I know some of y'all gonna be like, but that's like a but, so that means you don't really mean it. No, I mean that. I mean that with sincerity. As a mom, for me, I feel for both boys in this dynamic because it's a sad situation. Period. It's a situation that I couldn't imagine. Couldn't even imagine on either side. I wouldn't know what I would do. I couldn't say what I would do. However, I do believe that when you're dealing with these kinds of circumstances, it is important to act with a level of decorum, a level of respect, a level of whatever, anything else other than racism. And I don't care how angry, how hurt you are. It's one thing. I could almost see attacking the person directly. And in this case, I mean, I don't know because he's also a boy. You see what I'm saying? He's a kid. So, and it's not a thug. This is not a thug. You could tell. And what bothers me about there's so many directions I want to go with this. So y'all got to work with me here. Be patient. What bothers me about this circumstance, right, is like I've said before, this man is a grown ass man. You're talking about two boys, and deep down, we all, anybody who could see behavior and is really being honest with themselves, it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's obvious where these boys learned this behavior. I'm not even saying or suggesting that maybe, Carmelo doesn't have a side to him that we don't know about, right? I can't deny that. But these boys got a side to them too that clearly nobody wanted to address or talk about. And it's obvious when you hear this man talk. It's obvious. So I'm listening to this man talk. And the first thing he says, he's a Christian, right? He talks about how he's a Christian man. And I've said on this channel, I've said it many times, is that people have to be careful about that word Christian because the word Christian means something different to different types of people. It just is what it is. So now we have this dynamic where this man is talking about all this stuff about the humankind and his hope for humankind, and you know, him, and his wife, I'm assuming that's his ex-wife. I don't know. He said that they co-parent their sons. I mean, I don't know, but that was actually very telling. Just in how he was talking about it was very telling. I don't quite understand what I gathered from that, because I didn't quite understand why we were even going into that narrative in the first place. But what I gathered from that was that this was supposed to be, I mean, I don't, to me, it's completely off topic. Completely off topic. Who cares? Who cares? You lost your son. Who cares about how you raise your kids? And you're talking about a black family who live together, mom and dad, husband and wife, right? In the suburbs somewhere, right? Kid is a good kid. Don't get in. I mean, I don't know about the trouble, but on paper, the kid don't get in no trouble, right? So no trouble. And honestly, knowing that type of individual, that type of person, 9 times out of 10, is innocent boy stuff. It ain't like the kid that's struggling and got a mom and a dad in the hood, doing God knows what. Like it's kind of low key. They're low key kind of different. And in our community, they are low key. We do have those differences. So it's very concerning to me when I hear this man come at it from an angle of, oh, I'm going to tear everybody down. I'm going to tear the family down. You're supposed to be grieving your kid. Okay, you got your justice. What are you popping off at the mouth for? Talk what you have to talk, but all this attacking black people and talking about what you think our culture is, the fact that you're talking and you're saying things that are untrue, right? This man is saying things that is not accurate, tells you he doesn't know our culture. He goes in and talking about how this woman, how we probably get some free, like just reiterating that, we get everything, all this stuff handed to us. So I ain't get shit handed to me. The fuck? I don't know. I don't know what world this man talking about how racism happened, and we bought you from the people that stole you and put y'all to work. Then we won the Civil War. Like, hearing him talk like that, it's wild to me. Like, this is Texas, so it's not. I guess you just got to remember it's Texas. I'm not. I shit. I don't. Now I'm reminded. I don't want to live in Texas ever. Even though my dad lives in Texas, and I'm sure Texas is nice, and this ain't everybody, but like, whoa, keep that. I don't know if the dude understands. Like the you gotta have a level of couth. You could think what you think. You can feel how you feel, but I mean, I don't know. With this administration now, they don't have to keep that under wraps. It's okay to talk the way they be talking under the guise of free speech. So um, I just think black people need to be paying attention, is my point. The things that are being said about black people, this idea that we all get it free, most of us are criminals and all this shit, that's a lie. I could count five, six, maybe 10, maybe, I mean, 'cause I don't know too many like today, just because one, I live in pretty much a predominantly white state, but then two, I do, I'm mindful about who I hang out with. Let's put it, but I'm like that with anybody. It wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter what race you are. I'm paying attention to your character. What you show me, I believe. I'm gonna move the way I need to move for me. But for this man to come out and say these things about black people, it's like, okay, you're hurting, but like, and it's not necessarily the slavery piece. I mean, that was an interesting take on it. It was more of like a very it's like acknowledging that the slave trade existed, but we're not getting reparations. I mean, I'm very confused. You see what I'm saying? It's a very conflicting situation as a black woman, because it's like the majority, I don't want to say the majority of America feels like this, but a lot of folks, I mean, but supposedly the majority voted for them. So, and they keep talking about this black fatigue, black fatigue, black fatigue. Think it's kind of going a bit overboard. I think, and what I mean by overboard is become a scapegoat to become something else. It's become a reason to take it further. It's almost like how this the situation happened with the ICE situation. We allowed ICE to come in because we're like, yes, we need you guys to get a handle on it. ICE came in, and then fools took it and did it times 12. I mean, they really over, like, there's a lot of boundaries that I feel like have been low key kind of, they just keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed in these areas. So I think that black people need to be paying attention. Black people need to be on code. Period. This is not a time where we could play with with uh with this so-called. It's not even really a time to argue anymore. It's not really even a time to be going back and forth, because folks are showing you who they are. It's really time to understand what time it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you don't know, with the way folks are talking about us, it's kind of unhinged. It's almost I mean, it is unhinged. When a person can take a stereotype and put it on everybody and say this is our culture, we just engage in degeneracy, and that's what we all are about, like, and that's how they make it seem. They make it seem like we're disposable, and we're not. So I'm a need, I'm just saying, this is kind of low key scary, the conversations that are happening. It's scary to hear grown men talk about how black people are thugs. And these are people that, let me be clear, and other administrations wouldn't have said the same things. They would have been thinking it. They wouldn't have necessarily said it. Now they all coming out the woodworks, showing you how they feel about you, what they think about you. They all believe we are predators somehow. I'm minding my business. I don't be worried about nobody else. I don't be out committing crimes and doing things I shouldn't be doing. I'm a hard working person. You feel what I'm saying? And do I make poor choices? I mean, maybe not so much now, but I'm sure I make mistakes. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm human. But how dare you assume the worst about me? How dare you? What did he call the dude? A melon, a felon? What did he call him? Some stupid name. And let me be clear. I don't know that black people respond the same way that maybe our ancestors would. Like, some of that shit, it don't. We surprised you even using the terms weird shit. I ain't never heard the term. I ain't never heard that one before. Okay. So I wouldn't even take that seriously. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you telling me this in a joke, I feel like black people are so much more advanced now. It's almost like, if we was to put our hands on somebody, you see what I'm saying? Is most likely for a reason. But all this talking shit and running your mouth, that black people don't respond the same way. We really don't. So whatever he called him, the felon, whatever name he gave that little boy, I was like, that's crazy. Because he's a grown man. He's old enough to be this boy's daddy. But he's not looking at it from that. Because if you look at it from that, you would at least have a little compassion. I could even see this is, to be honest with you, in a story like this, if the father was a different type of father, you could almost see them ending up having some sort of like positive, if this was a movie. But it actually happens like that sometimes, where the relationship between the two could be positive, but this dude is talking so much shit and it's big shit. And clearly he got the money to be talking big shit, I guess. I don't fucking know. The connection, something, but shit. The racism is out of control. It's out of control. It's out of control. You know, all this talk, and it's the same old talking points. It literally is. It's the same thing like how the manosphere is. Same old talking points. It's like this administration done really attracted some interesting people. And I've just been sitting back on the sidelines, but this isn't something I could sit back on the sidelines about. I'm sick of hearing this shit. I'm sick of hearing the things that people are saying and applying it to us. That's not okay. Because the problem is, normally I'm the type of girl, if it don't apply, let it fly. And I'm still really very much that girl. You see what I'm saying? Because I understand that an Nigger, it meant something completely different than whatever the hell they put in the on Google or whatever. It meant an ignorant person. That was in the dictionary. That's what I known it to mean. Therefore, I was always taught to never respond ignorantly to someone who either sees me of that nature, right? This is why jobs, I don't really cater to. I don't mind. You want to let me go? Shit, let me go. And it may suck for the moment, but I will never give the job a satisfaction of seeing me sweat. You see what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are shocked by that. Like they're expecting me to go off. They're expecting me to, you know what I mean? And that's based upon their own personal perspectives. So I don't believe for a second that these people wouldn't attach a label to me and then treat me as if I am that label openly. And that's where we really got issues. You see what I'm saying? Where it becomes legal, it becomes allowed, it becomes socially acceptable. Because you have these big talking heads, right? With millions of followers. Elon Musk, JD Vance, what's the dude? What's his name? That Benny guy, Benny Johnson, or whatever his name is. Occasionally you got Tucker in there, right? You got all these folks talking about Black people and Black fatigue as if they hang with us, as if they've been around us. They always talk about, I got many friends that are diverse. That's what he said. We've got plenty of friends that are diverse. So how do you not know that not all Black people act like that? And if you did have diverse friends, what are you talking about? Your Indian friends? Like, who are you talking about? What types of friends? And how many of these friends do you have? Because I'm sorry, if I was your friend, I wouldn't give a damn if you just, I wouldn't care what had just happened and took place. If I heard you talking the way you was talking about me, yeah, we finna have some problems. And the thing is, he can't get around the racism to save his life because he went to attack the mom. What the hell does a mom have to do with the choices of her son? Her job is to provide the best lifestyle that she can for her son. And she did that. And as a man, how dare you go? That's crazy for it's completely out of pocket to even step to the wife to begin with. I don't even care if you don't like what she's doing, if you think she's dumb, if you think she's stupid, like all that's irrelevant. And this is why I say the man can't be married, and there's a reason why he's not married, but because I mean, maybe they are still married. I don't understand the co-parenting part, right? Again, I don't know. But my assumption is they're not married or they're separated or whatever the case may be. And they are definitely that for a reason. But that wife is going to stand by her kids. See what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Hopefully I'm hoping, shoot, ain't no telling what's coming from this, because you don't just get away with being ugly like that. There's a difference in being sad. There's a difference in grieving, right? Look at all the moms that done lost their kids. Shanquella Robinson, all these big profile cases. And now one of them thought to say all this racist stuff. He didn't have a PR team. He just got online and was like, shit, I'm going to talk my shit. What? But he could do that because he got other people backing him up. Big people backing him up. The president ain't even come out and say nothing. So black people need to be on code, and I just know we need to have our little group of legions, ready to put in some work. Because at the end of the day, I'm not understanding why some folks are still like, that's the ultimate disrespect. It's like you gotta kind of nip it in the butt before it gets completely out of hand. And unfortunately, I feel like that's how they're trying to start that civil war. Cause you only finna be pushing black people's buttons for so long. Black people only finna take so much now. So I just pray that, like I say, everybody need to heal from this situation. And the father really should be reflecting on, he worried about the mom and how bad the mom did as a mom. He don't know what she did or didn't do. Right? That's irrelevant. He need to be focused on, how did I get here? How did my boys, how did I, the father, the man of the household, right, lead my sons to this? Because the reality of it is he still lost a son. And I don't mean to say that lightheartedly. That's serious. And I would think as a mom, I would be reflecting on, how did I lead my child to this? Because either way, the people that know what really happened that night know what happened that night. Period. Regardless of who went down, how it went down. Everybody knows. Them people know. So by seeing, I said in my last video, I really believe the sons, I just know males like that too. Caucasian male. That's the type of man that you see the father being, that is predominantly like, that is as a woman who is dated and just had, in high school coming up, that's your typical Caucasian male. Not all of them are like that. I know a lot that are very kind, sweet. I don't know what they're like outside of what I know them as, but when I know them, they're not like that. But this guy, shoot, I believe he's the problem. I believe he is the problem. I believe he is the reason his sons, unfortunately, are who they are, and things happen the way that they happened. And I don't think that the Lord, Father God, I don't believe that he is done. I believe that we are going to see this turnout continue because an injustice was done, regardless of what his followers say, regardless of what Carmelo's followers say. There's an injustice clearly done. You got a boy with no criminal history and you sentence him to 35 years. Like I mean, I'm sorry, but that's insane. That's excessive in my opinion. I'm not saying that I get a life is a life, but if you ain't gonna take his life, in my opinion, that is excessive for a boy that has had straight A's and no criminal record. So on one hand, America is telling Black people, oh, we're tired of this. We're tired of this. We've got Black fatigue, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, then on the other hand, you sentence a boy that is actually he's raised properly. He can be rehabilitated. He's not like a hardened criminal or anything. He's not even like a petty criminal. He's not even a criminal until whenever he got sentenced. This is a boy that has the ability to be rehabilitated, and you're sentencing him to 35 years. So what does that say to all the boys and Black boys that are coming up and really trying to be something? If I make a mistake, because it's a poor choice, but again, the brain ain't fully developed. He getting bullied. He don't know what to do. He does what he thinks is best, and that wasn't the best thing to do. But I don't think the intent, I'm sorry, he doesn't give me that look. He doesn't give me that vibe. He straight up gives me white suburbia vibes. Privileged Black boy. Not struggling, living his life, doing what he got to do. Probably was about to go to college, but we think it's okay that he should have been sentenced to 35 years, but we're tired of Black fatigue. So is the answer to lock everybody up, or like what's the solution then? Is the goal to get people moving on the right path? Like what is the goal? I don't know. This is a scary time for Black people in America, but it's starting with the men. I mean, it's starting with the girls too. Women are, things are happening to women all day long at the hands of never mind. But to see Black boys, the situation, and I've been hearing about it, but I haven't dived too much into it. But I am going to talk about it. The situation with the boy who they thought was still in the waters, and whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy, 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 crazy times we live in, man. I knew racism, like you always felt it, but now it's like you see it and it's like, so it's been here this whole time. And it just feels like folks are trying to take us backwards. And I don't quite get it. I don't understand. I don't understand what time I'm living in. I don't get it. It's like, it's crazy shit. It's been some crazy stuff, and I'm sorry I'm cursing, y'all, but it's been some crazy stuff, man. And it's got me just low key. I know every Black person I done heard speak about this. Not all, but quite a few. Just hot about it. Hot. And I'm not even really hot. The verdict, I mean, okay, you do your time, you're gonna do some time, but that 35 years, in my opinion, is just crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine just my life is great, I'm chilling, you know, wake up one day, somebody's poking a bear. I try to stand up for myself and they accident like I didn't mean for it to happen, but it happened. Now I'm in jail for the rest of my life. Like, I couldn't imagine. I'm sorry. That's crazy. I don't know what that would do to my mind. Like, I couldn't imagine only him, and I thought I was strong. That's a situation, boy, that might have just broke me. For real. So my heart goes out to really, I mean, it goes out to both families, but my prayers are with the Carmelo family, because that this is some crazy stuff. The things that are coming out, I'll never support racism. I don't have it in me to just hate my own people like that, man. I don't mind calling us out when we're wrong. But the reality of it is, this is racism. It's not even just, I got an issue with this person. It's all of you are this way. And it's like, nah, I mean, he went unchecked. He was able to say what he said, and nobody's checked him. That's scary because it's giving the green light to other people who also want to be this way towards Black people. So that's all I got to say on the matter, y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.